I'm a writer and I'm starting this channel to document my writing process as I work on my current book, Project Marmalade, which is a cozy contemporary fantasy think Dairy Girls meets Howl's Moving Castle. And I figured a Christmas book haul was the most cheerful way to start. I know we're all tired after the holidays, so if you feel like it, grab a chair and something warm to drink. I'm gonna make some tea and I'll show you the books that I'm going to be reading as I draft my new book. Welcome back. I've got my tea. I hope you've got yours. Let's get to it. Just a quick note, everything I'm showing today was either bought secondhand or gifted secondhand, which I love. I love having books that have been read before, especially sometimes you find like little notes in them. I had a stamp once. I actually had a vintage copy of Little Men that has like a note. It was like to my wild one and it was so cute. I love it. Okay, enough talk. Okay, the first few books were given to me by my godmother. Every year we do sort of like a book exchange where she gives me her favorite books of the year and I give her mine. So the first one was 10,000 Doors of January, which I had never heard of, but it's by Alex E. Harrow. And I think it's another cozy fantasy. I love these. Actually, just reading this has me very excited. Okay, sorry. Next one, this one has actually been on my TBR for a little while, and it's a quirky southern fantasy, which I love so much. I can't wait to read it. This one I remember reading the first chapter of in a Target and being super excited to have it, but it's about the it's a Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I know this was like a huge bestseller. Yeah, New York Times, it did awesome. But it looks so cool. I feel like the back matter's giving very much like Everywhere, Everything, All at Once, where you have all these possibilities. By the way, my favorite movie. I sobbed. This one I had semi-heard about, but I had it more on my list to gift to my grandma because she's a huge fan of like historical fiction and especially like World War II historical fiction, and that's what this is, The Rose Coat by Kate Quinn. This is one that I've heard comped like 1.5 million times on this podcast that I watch, which is The Shit No One Tells You About Writing. I love, highly recommend. But I've actually never had any idea what it is. Let's find out. After Tova Solomon's husband died, she began working the night shift at the Sowell Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy has always helped her cope, which she's been doing since her 18-year-old son mysteriously vanished on a boat in Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Puget? Tova becomes acquainted with curmudgeonly Marcellus, a brilliant giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus wouldn't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors until he forms a friendship with Tova. Enter the detective. Marcellus deduces what must have happened the night Tova's son disappears. And now Marcellus must use every old trick in his old invertebrate body can muster to unearth the truth for her before it's too late. This reminds me of like Finding Dory, that there was the octopus that would crawl out of the containers. I loved that. Okay, another one I've seen comped a lot, and I know I'm so late to reading this one, but Mexican Gothic. I mean, everyone knows this one by now. But this one, and I've also never read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Again, I've missed out, I know. Okay, from now on, you will see a trend in the books I got. This one's also from my TBR. But I love like Little Old Man, Little Old Woman, like second chance romance so much. It's so cute, it's so wholesome, I love it. This is Homeseeking by Carissa Chen, and I read about this one. It's about this little old man finds out, like runs into his like first love, and it's so cute. And then they travel back, and I know it's like dual timeline, but I think eventually the timelines catch up to each other. But I'm really excited to read one. It's a big one, but I love my little old men. Okay, this I have no idea what the plot was. None. Like I do now because I read the back. But I put this on my TBR solely off of an author interview I read with Joe Mori. Well, not read, heard on the shit no one tells you about writing. And it was so good. And like she read the first chapter, and the first page is just so descriptive and evocative. Let's see. The jungle thrives as it has for millennia, in wild shadows, even in the basking light of day, shrouding its secrets in a tangle of leaves and roots and vines. A majesty of evergreens cast their shade, overseeing like wise counsel. Chichol's trees and cacao trees and ceiba, palmettos of silver and cahoon palms. Frantic trilling of a birdsong pulses its backdrop. Frogs croak and bark and croak. Bees hum. A screech owl drills into the dusk. Go, 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 go. A fer de lance camouflaged amongst the leaf litter sleeks under a log. It's an abundance of lush self-protection, teeming with life upon life. But everything rots faster in the heat. The body has lain there since Tuesday, a bloated invitation under unforgiving suns and the murmuring haunt of flies. Tell me you don't like feel it, like you're there. Okay, if we're picking up on a trend, another one I picked up because of an author interview. And this one's actually written in prose. It's called The Leaving Room, and you can see it's like very abstract. But it's basically like in those 4 minutes after death and before the afterlife. That's all I know about it, but the author was incredible. She talks so much about the effort she puts into her prose that she doesn't draft. She just sits down and she writes and she's done. But like to write one page will take her like a month. Like there's a lot of effort. I'm back. Just had to yell at my sister super quick. Alright, next up on the list is The Leaving Room. I saw an interview with the author. This one's actually written all in prose. And you can see sometimes it gets to be this really wacky, abstract. Like the format changes every page. I'm really excited to read it. It's supposed to catalog the last 4 minutes in between life and the afterlife, and the author's just brilliant. I heard this podcast and she was talking about how important it is for her to be very conscious about the words she puts on the page, that she thinks each of them through. Like at the end of the day she'll have written one page, but it will be the page, it'll be that page. She doesn't do a lot of drafts, she doesn't do a lot of rewrites, she just writes incredibly intentionally and thinks it through. On the other hand, we have The Ex-Girlfriend Murder Club by Gloria Chow, and it's a whodunit mystery, which I think is really cute. And this one, it's not my normal read, but I thought it looks so fun. It's about these 3 girls who become friends because they find out they all have the same boyfriend, and then they decide to prank him, but when they go to prank him, he's dead. And now they're all suspects in his murder, of course. So they have to solve it before he finds out, before they're arrested. And I thought that was so cute and so fun just based off of the pitch. I put it on my TBR. All right, we're getting down to the last few books. This one's a historical fiction by Allegra Goodman, and it's based on the real story of a 16th century heroine where a woman gets stranded on the way to the New World because she was caught being unfaithful to her like Loki evil husband. Very excited for this one. I love historical fiction. Love it. And following I love old people and old people romance, this one is about a grouchy old alcoholic man who's had 3 heart attacks already, finding out that his high school crush just became a widow, and he decides to do a whole big road trip across the country with his newly, I think, orphaned or abandoned, like, brother's grandkids. And I think it's really cute. I'm really excited to read this one. Actually, out of all of them, this might be my upcoming one. I'm really excited. It just seems so sweet and funny. All right, now we have The Goldfinch, a classic. This is actually my second time getting the book because my godmother gave it to me 2 years ago, I want to say, and I lent it to a friend and before I read it, and I never got it back. But that's okay because now we have a hardcover. Ooh. And the very last, which I had forgotten about, I hadn't unwrapped it yet actually, is the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I had known nothing about this book. Honestly, when I first read it, I thought it was some kind of sequel to the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but it's really cool. I love a murder mystery. I just finished Wake Up Dead Man, and it was so good. So good. But I love like Catholic priest media. I don't know why. Fleabag, peak. And the books here that I'm most excited for, because they line up the most with my work in progress, are probably 10,000 Doors of January, definitely The Blackbird Cafe, Midnight Library, and just Fruit to Tender Hearts, because I love my old people. Like, I grew up with the Golden Girls. I think you can tell. But that's it for today's book haul. I really hope you're sipping your tea and maybe adding a few titles to your TBR. I'd love to hear what you're planning to read in 2026, and if you want to see more of my writing life and more bookish moments, I post here on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Substack, my favorite. And of course, I'll be here on YouTube soon with more cozy chats. Bye for now!